Shanti Maluia, Shalom, Assalam, Shanti Maluia, Shalom, Assalam, Shanti Maluia, Shalom, Assalam, Shanti Maluia, Shalom, Assalam. Blessings to you, my sister. Blessings to you, my friend. Blessings to you, my brother, with a love that never ends. Blessings to you, my father. Blessings to you, my friend. Blessings to you, my mother, with a love that never ends. Shanti Maluia, Shalom, Assalam, 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 Shanti Maluia, Shalom, Assalam. Blessings to you, my mother. Blessings to you, my friend. Blessings to you, my father, with a love that never ends. Blessings to you, my sister. Blessings to you, my friend. Blessings to you, my brother, with a love that never ends, with a love that never ends, with a love that never ends.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Charles Woolfolk. I'm on the board of trustees here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Kauai. It's such a blessing. I love each and every one of you guys, by the way. Now, I'm here for this week's announcements. So please fill up your cups. Please fill up your coffee, tea, or water now so we cannot break the sacred space and atmosphere we are creating. And please turn off your phones. Turn them off right now. In fact, let me turn off my phone right now. Turn off my phone. All right. Teaching through example. There you go. All right. The Path of Prosperity with Rev Terry Taylor will take place after our regular social time after service, approximately 11 a.m. Only those who have signed in advance. There will be a regular social time before we begin the workshop portion. And I'll be signing people in, so please, after service, see me so you guys can sign up. Or so you guys can sign in and check up, or check you in. Oh, goodness gracious. This is the last chance, ladies and gentlemen, for the Power of Decision class is this Wednesday, and it's facilitated by Rev Rita and Rev Patrick. It's an 8-week course, Wednesdays, June 5th through July 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. and must take the whole series. You have to take the whole series. If you miss an evening, it's also available on video. Ladies and gentlemen, quite honestly, we are off to a great start. The first class that we took this past Wednesday was, I'm going to say it. All right, it was the best class that I ever seen these two teach. It was absolutely amazing. I was so impressed. And I'm very happy and proud of these guys for doing it. And this is going to be an amazing course. Please, please, please do not miss it. The Power of Decision on Wednesdays is you still got time to sign up. Also, an exploration and meditation, Thursday, June 13th, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., rediscovering self-love and increasing abundance with Don Eve, a guided visualization to give us each the experience of self-love and opening to greater abundance. Don Eve is a manifestation coach and meditation teacher with an international clientele. She has been studying and teaching metaphysics, meditation, and emotional healing for over 40 years. And you know what? I know I'm going to be there. Once again, June 13th, mark your calendars, Thursday, June 13th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's going to be phenomenal. Something that I am greatly excited for, the Gay Pride Parade, June 22nd. See the flyer right here. There's more in the back. We are walking in the parade, and we're meeting at 8:30 behind the Civic Center Museum. Thank you very much. And see our outreach minister, Rev D, in the house right there. Okay. She says, wear your CSL t-shirt, an aloha shirt, or a purple shirt. Make love signs. Carpool if you have to. And make a difference by showing your support. Yes, make love signs. Just signs with big hearts on them. I don't know what all the laughter's for, but we're going to keep moving on. Also, the Science of Mind magazine, ladies and gentlemen. The Science of Mind magazine, we still have some. Get your copy, $5 over there in the back with Roseanne, the wonderful Roseanne. And also, we still have the hospitality sign-up sheet. Ron needs some help in the back, and if you guys would like a way to serve here at the CSL Kauai, then going back there with Ron and his very organized, well-oiled machine is something that is totally great. That's how I started to serve here, just work the ranks up until I tricked them into getting in the board. Also, there's the men and women's gathering after service next Sunday. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, with so much love, I give you guys our spiritual directors, Rev Rita and Rev Patrick.
Hey, Charles.
Who knew that we would have a warm-up act before it even, isn't that beautiful?
Yay.
Isn't it beautiful?
So, before we begin, well, why don't you say it, because I can't do both things.
Well, before we begin, we want to honor our guests of honor, and that's the Reverend Terry and what I like to call the Reverend Marilyn. And so they are here, so let's give them a nice welcome here. And Reverend Terry will be doing the workshop afterwards. So this is our time. I'm going to invite Rob up as well. This is our time for our peace candle, which we take that time to remember that peace begins where? Right here. So let's not be asking for it out there till we take care of it in here, shall we? So we have our wonderful practitioner to light the candle and start our moment of silence. So just get comfortable for a moment.
And now Rob Jones will continue and bring us into our time of contemplation.
I invite you to please get comfortable in your chairs. Close your eyes if you wish. And go into that place where we center and contemplate where spirit is always. I have a seed thought from a man by the name of Robert Zolik. He said, there are many roads to prosperity, but one must be taken. Inaction leads nowhere. There are many roads to prosperity, but one must be taken. Inaction leads nowhere. Enjoy your time. There are many roads to prosperity, but one must be taken. Inaction leads nowhere. And what I know right now in the present, which is the only time there is, I know the Spirit is here, and Spirit is infinite in all of its characteristics, infinite in its abundance, its health, its welfare, its love, its relationships, all of the things that we need, they're already there for us. And what I know is I am unified with all of this that Spirit is. And one of the things that Spirit presented me with, and for everyone in the universe, is volition, the right to choose. And I know that this birthright is there for each and every one of us to choose the paths that we desire to take to manifest the things that we desire to manifest. Prosperity is not only money. Prosperity is abundant health, abundant creativity, abundant relationships, and abundant money to live the lives that we wish to live. Prosperity is God in action. And in knowing this, I give such great mahalo. Thank you for the manifestation that appears right now in all of our lives, greater than we can even imagine. So I release my word, this word of prosperity, as law, as we say together, and so it is.
Aloha.
Aloha.
See, when her mic's not on, I just go right on in, don't I?
Let's bring ourselves gently back. And
Here
breathe
we
into
are.
the space and get ready for now and what's to come. So I'm grateful to be here today, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you for being here today and bringing your consciousness here. And you are in a center for spiritual living where we practice that beautiful thing called the divine mind that is in each and every one of us. We cannot escape it. It is who and what we are. And as we live that divine mind is infinite, as Rob said in his spiritual mind treatment, that it's infinite, and we get to receive whatever we want. But we have to be loving toward ourselves and giving toward ourselves and know that our highest good is always here. And we use our minds to do that, our consciousness, and that's where we live from. But it comes consciousness first, and that's what we practice here, consciousness first. So welcome here today as we expand our consciousness. I'm grateful again to be here and for each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Rev Rita. So who is here, and you can't really hide because we have special ways of finding out. It's called chalets. So who is here for the very first time and is not afraid to raise their hand and tell us? There you go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, that's right. So here's the deal. Now that we've got that over, there's nothing to worry about except that we have a whole ton of information on you that we're going to share with everyone. So we just wanted to identify you first. So let us tell them what we know about them, shall we? We'll start there.
You are magnificent. You are magnificent.
There you go, you're magnificent,
You are
but you already
magnificent.
knew that, didn't you? Yeah, you already knew that. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The reason that we know that about you is because, just like the peace candle, knowing peace first, we know that we're magnificent as well. So therefore, we recognize it in you. So let's all say it together. I am magnificent. Oh, and if you think it's only in this room, you are so wrong. Because right where Rob is, who's up here, and then he's back there, and then Charles is running it, we have a full house here today. He is allowing people on the mainland, people in other countries. We've gotten notification of that. That makes us very global. And so what he does is he allows this experience to be taken out. and people on the mainland and people in Kaua'i that refuse to come out before 9 o'clock. Oh, yeah, we're talking to you. So we would like to just right here, Anna Leah too, as she's recovering so beautifully. We know you're watching, so aloha,
Hey,
we love
Leah.
you. But we also know about them what we know about ourselves, so let's make it happen. You are magnificent. Woo! Now left to the right, I don't care where you go, just let somebody know who they are, that they're magnificent. Oh, look at your magnificence. You are magnificent.
You are magnificent.
You're magnificent. You are. Yes, and Ron is.
Yay.
All right. Okay. It sounds
Wow.
like a
We're
spiritual
already
bar
here.
in
It's
here.
time for
Let's
the
go
opening
ahead and get ourselves up in our spiritual, wonderful, magnificent selves with our opening song with Doreen and Doug and Luis.
Yay.
I am ready, I am ready, I am ready to create. I am ready, I am ready, I am ready to create. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me. And something sacred is awakened in me. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me. 'Cause something sacred is awakened in me.
So knowing in this moment that the change has already taken place, we are that butterfly that has released the cocoon and allowed us to come here, right here and now, and celebrate the true divinity of who each and every one of us is, right here and right now. And I know that this Ohana, both here and on the mainland and everywhere, has come together to remember that I am that I am. I am that I am. And we go forth through this service, continuing to just vibrate at the frequency of the divine, to vibrate at the frequency of the divine. And with that, I just know it unfolds easily, effortlessly, and we take our wings, our butterfly wings, and we just fly, 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 as together with such gratitude we say, and so it is.
I am ready, I am ready, I am ready to create. I am ready, I am ready, I am ready to create. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me. And something sacred is awakened in me. 'Cause something amazing is changing in me. 'Cause something sacred is awakened in me.
Wow. Of water. I just said I need a drink of water. Okay. This new format,
All
it just
spirits,
puts
huh?
me right in the spotlight, like immediately. I don't even have a moment to take a breath. But you know what? It really invigorates me. Thank you, Doug and Doreen, for the amazing things you've done with our music. And I'm definitely invigorated. So, with that said, here I am. Today is about deciding to be prosperous. This whole month is about decision and knowing that as we make decisions is when our life changes. true decisions that click in and we know without a doubt that we cannot fail. And even though we start with our decision, and maybe there's times that we feel maybe a little fear or trepidation, all that is excitement, like I said last week, the excitement of knowing that the things that we require in life, the things that we want, the things that we dream about can actually come true. And there's a little part of ourselves that might be saying, nah, that's not possible. Then we start to get scared. But all that is just what my colleague, Donna Michael, called the last gasp of a dying fear. It's its last gasp. And as we practice these principles, that gasp gets weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker until our greatness can't be stopped by anything. Because as we say in the song, something sacred's happening within me, something wonderful is happening within me. There's that something that we're tapping into that is our gold mind. So I wanted to start with that gold mind, right? Yeah. Because prosperity is about more than just money. Like Rob said, it's more than money. It's not just money. It's a way of life. As my mentor called it, it's a calling. Prosperity is a calling. The universe is calling us to be prosperous in all ways. So Raymond Charles Barker, who we're studying, said, "The grandeur of life is known by the few when it should be known by many. The majority of people live in part only. They are half healthy, half wealthy, half happy, and half creative. They have accepted this halfway of living as normal. Once in a while, in a rare moment, they glimpse a larger life and they wish that it could be so. Then they return to their habitual thinking and continue to function in their half-hearted way. Half living," he says, "is abnormal and unnecessary." And that's what I want to talk to you about today. It is abnormal to be half alive. It is abnormal to be half wealthy, half healthy, all of this. That's not our normal way of being. Our normal way is to be vibrant. If we're expressing this divine, which we talk about here every day, then what does that mean? It means that glorification of the divine, that life, that source is coming through us and it wants to be expressed. It wants to be expressed, but it will express at the level of our belief. We say that there's an absolute, right? An untouched field of energy. We call it the field now, the quantum field. That untouched energy. It has everything. There is nothing that cannot be possible in that field because it's never been touched by anything. We get to use as much of it as we can imagine, as we can embody, as we can accept, as we can receive. So, what is prosperity? Raymond Charles Barker says it's the ability to do what you do ability to do what you want to do at the instant that you want to do it. Okay? That it's ability to do what you want to do at the instant that you want to do it. Now that's a huge order. I mean, there's lots of things I want to do that I'm not doing at the instant that I want to do them. And what I've come to know is that there's only one reason for that. I'm doing what I want to do at the instant that I want to do it, but it's the things that I can imagine that I can do. Right now, I can imagine that I'm standing here in front of you as a spiritual leader, as Rita, as this person who lives on the island of Kaua'i, who moved myself across an ocean. I believe that, so that's what I'm experiencing. But it doesn't happen like instantaneously. It could, but what it's all about, and I wrote about it in my blog this morning, is self-image. Because we can't go past, we talked about this in class on Wednesday night, we can't go past our self-imposed image. We have an image of ourselves. And everybody has a different image of themselves, right? You would say that, we're all unique. We can't go past that. So it seems contradictory to say you can have whatever you want, but you can't go past your self-image, but it isn't contradictory. It's the truth. You can't go past your self-image. I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again. When I first came to this teaching, I had a self-image that everything comes down to what you deserve. I had a self-image of a person who wanted a lot, but I didn't have the self-image to really accomplish it. I had to grow in self-image before I could grow my prosperity, grow my life, be what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an actress at one time, but I didn't really have the self-image to make it in Los Angeles because I didn't think highly enough of myself. I was scared. I was this, I was that, and I didn't know enough about consciousness at that time. If I was to go back there now, which I don't want to, but please, okay? I don't want to go back into that now, but I know that if I had what I had now and I went back there, my hands wouldn't be shaking when I took up a script in my hand. I wouldn't go into a room acting like, I was, I don't know what, some timid little 45-year-old woman who, you might want to hire me, blah, blah, blah. No, I would go in with confidence and know who I am. And that's the way I want to approach life now, with that confidence and that self-image. It's not conceited to know that you're a divine idea in the mind of God. It's not conceited. That's the glory of being this divine presence, is to be able to express it at the highest level. So it's not conceited to know that that is who you are, and that is what you're here to express at the level that you want to express it. Because as Rob said in his treatment, the one gift we've been given is choice and volition, and that you might not want to look at it. And I had been times in my life when I didn't want to look at it, but we have exactly what we have chosen to have. Raymond Charles Barker gets really tough with it. He says, everybody wants to put it on the outside that this caused me to have that, and that person didn't give me this, and blah, 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 blah. Goes on and on. He calls them your alibis. Your alibis. We call them what? Arguing for your limitations. But in reality, we are always at choice. We are always a choice to choose how we want to have our lives. And if you really look at it, if there's something in your life that you don't have right now, there might be something, and it's only a thing of consciousness that has to move out of the way, before you can have it. And unless you're willing to make the choice, to make the decision, to allow that thing to move out of the way, with love, not pushing it out of the way, not hating it, not embracing it for what it has done for you up to this point, but being willing to say, I'm willing to release that now. There's more that I want to experience. I'm willing to let go of that right now. I'm willing to let the universe take care of it, because it will fall into the field of nothingness, energy, and become something else according to what we choose. So we're always at choice. So sometimes, and I think it's kind of what I said, that we're a house divided against ourselves. We say we want something, but as we know, the subconscious is what's living us. This is science now. We don't have to try to guess it. These mystics knew this way back in the Greeks and Jesus and Forward, and Ernest Holmes knew it before they could look at it under a microscope or test it. They knew it, that our subconscious is what's living us. So what we get to do is we get to change that. If we were at mercy of our subconscious and we had no way to change it, we would be robots, slaves, and we're not. We're like these powerful beings, and now we're just beginning to realize that that's what it is, our subconscious that's living us. And so we have to just pour more of this energy of self-love and goodness and highest thoughts of ourselves into that subconscious. And we know scientifically that it does change. It will change if we continue to do it. Every time we can think prosperity when we can't have it right now, we don't see it in our lives, every time we can still think it and feel it and act as if it is, and find little ways starting where we are to experience it. Like I told you the story of a cup of coffee, that I felt like I couldn't have a cup of coffee with my friend, that I didn't have enough money to do that simple thing of having a cup of coffee with a friend. And until I said to myself, you know what, that doesn't work for me. There's no, a cup of coffee? Come on, Rita. You telling me that the power and presence of Spirit God cannot sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee with a friend, and in that moment, that was the beginning of a shift for me. It could be something that small is what I'm saying. Something that small that you can take and just wipe it away, let it fall into the nothingness from which it came. So Raymond Charles Barker goes on to say, you can live a much fuller life where you are in your present circumstances. That's what I'm talking about. It does not require more money, a better job, a nicer home, or a different marriage partner. It requires a change of consciousness. And this you can do, for you are a thinker, he says. You are a thinker. You are not your thoughts. You're the person that's thinking them. We seem to be possessed by our thoughts sometimes. We think that our thoughts are thinking us. Well, they might be, because we've lost control over them. That's why we have to train them. But the only way we can train them is by believing that we can and changing our beliefs, because our beliefs are creating why we're thinking what we're thinking. So if we don't have a self-image of ourselves as this prosperous, wonderful, amazing, abundant, talented person, then we're thinking other things. We're thinking things like, oh, that person doesn't like me, I'll never get that job, but that's what it's coming from, a belief back there. So that's what has to be changed. So you are a thinker. The minute you decide to live a richer life, your subconscious, this is what I love, will devise the ways and means of you having it. You are using this power, and once you decide, it will devise the means for it to happen. You don't have to figure it out. You just have to go from the place of believing it, knowing it, and at least deciding to be willing to. Sometimes you go, well, I can't believe it. I can't know it. Just be deciding to be willing to. Your subconscious will take that. It's called the law of our being. It's called the energy field. The thought sends the things out. Joe Dispenza says the feeling brings it back. That energy, wherever that has to come from, it will come. I've seen it happen over and over. It is when we get out of the way. The subconscious is automatic. It just takes our commands. It's just doing what we told it to do, even unconsciously, but we want to do it consciously. So think about that. The minute you decide to live a richer life, your subconscious will devise the ways and the means of you having it. That day, when I decided that cup of coffee was something I deserved to have and that I deserved to be abundant, my life began as an abundant person. It didn't happen right away. I still had to do the work. I still had to get out of the way and follow Spirit's lead and do the things that I needed to do. But it led me here right now to who I am now. It led me here. It wasn't overnight, but here I am. And I'm living a bigger life than I've ever thought I could ever live, in a place where people say you can't have that life. They just come here once in a lifetime on vacation. It's consciousness. It's not bad. This is nothing about this that's bad, all right, or good. And it just is. Did you know that the Huna principles are Kala and Makia? Please forgive me if I did not pronounce them correct. But the first one, Kala, is there are no limits. Everything is possible. Makia, energy flows where attention goes. I knew we had a lot in common with the Huna principles. We do. It's saying the same thing. So if you're sitting there, or we're sitting there, putting our attention on these things that don't matter, or that are belittling us, or they're not loving, and as my friend Deb Valentina said, if you're listening, getting emotionally hijacked by, I love that term, getting emotionally hijacked by things that aren't necessary anymore, we can turn it around in a moment, because our energy goes where our attention flows. So I want to just say that in the Science of Mind teaching, we have something powerful called spiritual mind treatment that clears our consciousness. It clears our consciousness. It plants a new belief. It's like a rotor-rooter going through, getting rid of like what we don't want to believe anymore and then replacing it with what we do want to believe. And it works because it corresponds to us as we correspond to it. And when we place those ideas into infinite mind has to say yes. And that's what spiritual mind treatment does. It plants those ideas in infinite mind, and infinite mind has to say yes. So I'm grateful for that that tool that I have, because I use it probably 20 times a day for different reasons. And it's a wonderful thing. It's an amazing thing. So I want to close with this quote, and it's a long one, but I think it's really wraps up the infinite. So take it in. Raymond Charles Barker. The infinite is a divine extravagance. It is forever giving itself away. God knows no thrift. The infinite does not need to be thrifty because it is an inexhaustible mind, an inexhaustible substance. It throws itself away, for it knows that only through expression can the abundant life be lived. Expression is release, and the infinite mind is forever throwing itself away and releasing itself in order for it to have total self-expression. In order for it to have total self-expression, it has to be a total givingness. The self-givingness of spirit, as each and every one of us. This is the divine magnificence. And you, he says, are a part of this creative process of the infinite throwing itself away. Think about that. It's just throwing itself away because it has so much. You are the receiver of the infinite bounty. You are given the infinite ideas of the universe. And that's what I know for each and every one of us. And now we just get to use it to accept that self-image of our greatness, of our divinity, of our purpose, of our life, of ourself as source, and just give it away. Give it away, knowing that it comes back to us multiplied abundantly. We say it every day on our giving and receiving here at the center. It's giving itself away. And so we are free to just give ourselves away, knowing that there's always more and more and more. And this is what I know. And so it is. Okay. I invite up Doug and Doreen to take this a little further.
Wow, thank you. And to remind us to live abundantly, and that a prosperous life is a prosperity in all areas, in our health, and our relationships, and our creative expression, and in wealth, and in money. So we have a song for you about that. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Every time I open my heart, I receive all that I need. Know that God and I are one. I relax and let it flow, 'cause I know that money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. Money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me. I have all that living that money comes to me gracefully and easily. Money comes to me.
Mahalo. Wow. As I was sitting there, I was thinking, you two, I was not raised, when I was raised a Catholic, we did not hear that kind of songs when on it. I was not, I'm telling you. Yeah, they called and they said, you know, Karen Drucker's the one who wrote this, and they were saying, what do you guys think of this since Terry's coming and it's a whole day about prosperity? I'm thinking, I love that song. I love that song, and I'm thinking, it's so scandalous. It's scandalous. It's spiritually scandalous. It's like we're not supposed to be dancing to the money, letting it, you know, come on, money. Oh, I just got chills thinking about somebody hearing that and going, oh, did you know what they did over at CSL Kauai? They were calling in money. Scandalous is what it is. Oh my gosh. So, just, you don't have to say it out loud because you know how that works. But what I'd like you to do is just take a moment and just say, wow, how did that actually make me feel when I was feeling it and hearing the great music? And was there a little tinge of like, ooh, should we really be talking about that here and now? It's a spiritual thing, you know, or it's like, yes, bring it on, right? And we say that, but there's still those, I had a little tape going off for a second going, I wonder if anyone's going to think we're like, you know, prosperity, you know, Bible and crazy and all that. So, and that was my tapes. Those are my programming. And so what I want to, I know right off the bat, so let's just say this. I already know that money does not buy happiness. I got that down. And that's just our little thing that we say because we want to protect ourselves from, I hope you don't think that that's all we're thinking about is prosperity and money, and we get a bad rap for that. But I say money doesn't buy happiness, but I know one thing for an absolute fact, that not having money does not bring happiness either. I have never been in my life going, God, I am broke and I'm loving it. Woo! Not a penny to my name. Now I'm really connected to the divine now because we know the divine only wants to know that I'm okay when I don't have anything. And there's some truth to that, but this much. Because this is what I know about that, is that the times that I have not had money, and we are going to just talk, I know it's all things, but that's just disclaimer stuff to make you feel good. I was raised in that wonderful quote that said, I am not worthy to receive you, but only say the word and I shall be healed. And that's not exactly the most uplifting way for me to live. And so I feel so blessed that not that I came into this teaching, but I came into myself, that I remembered who I am. And so I want to just talk a little bit about our relationship, because there is a relationship with money. People say, no, I don't even think about money. It just comes naturally, and that's fine. But we do have a relationship with it. And I know for me, I've had some kind of torrid relationships with money. Sometimes we broke up, and it just didn't come near me. And then I said, I have dated money, I have courted money, I've had one-night encounters with money. No, not what you're thinking. Look at that. That money song just got you all going, didn't it? But what I know is that it is a relationship. And this came to me this morning. I'm not sure I have absolutely said yes to marrying prosperity. I know many times we live in an infinite intelligence that says, I'm going to give you everything. Patrick, I love you. What do you want? I'm your sugar mama daddy. I had to put both in there because it's politically correct these days. But here's the deal, that it says, yes, I'll give you everything. I just want to be one with you as you. Marry me. And then I say, I don't know. Let me think about it. And I find myself in everything, and that's just not prosperity, that's health, that's relationships, that's it all. I don't know. Let me think about it. We do a lot of thinking. Do a lot of thinking, and that's a good thing. It means that we're free. But sometimes we can overthink it. And in relationships, and I want that relationship with prosperity to be wonderful. We do a lot of name calling with this thing called money. I've noticed that. If God is money in action and it's an energy, how do you think it feels when you call it evil? When you say to it, it's the root of all evil. All I know, if I was the energy of money, I wouldn't want to go anywhere near you. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. And let me tell you, know that relationship, I grew up watching that wonderful, wonderful mother scratching her head and looking at a checkbook, wondering if it could grow overnight to pay the phone bill. I watched her light candles, begging a God to come in and help raise her family. It's not designed that way. I couldn't possibly be designed that way. Or just, I love the feeling of the landfall, or it's like windfall. Oh my God, you get the money and then you say, it came through. And then you'd be back to where you were a couple months later because we haven't grown the consciousness. Haven't grown the consciousness. I like what Rita said, house divided against itself cannot stand. We cannot live in two places at the same time. One must win. And we say, well, we talk too much about money. I'm just saying we don't say that, but some people in the world say, you're focusing on money. Why are you doing that? It's about spirit. Focus on spirit, and that's, I agree with you. But last night, just for fun, I went on and I was wondering about this money thing. Did you know the entire websites they're overflowing with ways to get money? My 10 steps, my 4 steps, my 1 step, my 30 steps, and this was my best one. I didn't even know if I wanted to talk about it. It's going to sound like I'm making fun of this beautiful woman, and I'm not. But I happened to stumble across this beautiful site that she came on for 6 minutes and talked about. She found a way to manifest money finally. She smells her money. She sniffs it. No, she sniffs it. She gets her 50 out, sniffs that, and within 1 hour, $40 came to her. Now, it sounds like I'm making fun because I am having fun with it, but I want to make a really incredible point here. She was loving it, and it's done unto you as you believe. So if you sniff it, step on it, throw it around, kiss it, sleep with it, if you believe that it manifests money, that is what happens. But for me, there's a part of me, because I've been to all those rodeos. Now, I never did sniff money, but I've done a few things, but I don't mind kissing it. I'm not afraid of the dirt and all that stuff. But here's the deal. Because all I know is if there was a handful of money, somebody handed me $5,000 or $50,000, and you wanted me to sniff it, I got my nose ready. Because I ain't proud in that world, but because let me tell you, but this is what my sad point of it was. When is the day? When is the moment that I remember that I don't have to go get anything? When does the day arrive, when does the moment arrive that trusts this infinite intelligence, this incredible thing that knows nothing about getting, is just waiting, as Rita was saying, to pour it on us, pour it on us. But I got to know I deserve it. It comes right down to that one. The only reason I didn't deserve it when I was younger is because I was a kid in a trailer park that lived a certain thing, and all my friends, that they knew God, they knew abundance. I knew we're going to get through this, and we're going to do it well. And let me tell you, that served me, but only for so long. It served me because I did know that if we didn't have any money, that there was still something special in me. I did get that. But that only works for so many, for so long. And the programming was there, and I want to just share this, and I hardly do that because you know how quiet I am about myself. But I remembered a story that and finally I said to Rita, because we're talking about repeating patterns. And my dad had some stuff that he was going through, and he had some mental illness later, and but he liked, a good drink now and then, or like every day. But I used to be a saver. I loved to put that big piggy bank till it couldn't even breathe anymore because there was so much money in it. And I came home one day, and my father had a knife, and he was slipping out my ones to go get some wine. And I tell that because I want you to feel sorry for me. No, I know. I tell you that because this is what that little boy got out of it. I said, Mom, I keep saving my money. I keep saving my money. And he was like, but he had a dis-ease as well. He didn't have the money, wasn't working, so he had to take mine. And then I took it over to my brother's house, who was older. There it is, kept it safe. And then my brother, I didn't know how to drug problem and had to get to that money as well. So now I'm double feel sorry for me. But here's what I got from it. That as that program went in, I said, get rid of this money as fast as it comes in. That was my computer. I got an idea. The minute it comes in, spend that stuff. Nobody will ever take that money from you again. And the reason I bring this up with Rita is because I used that story, oh dear God, for so many years. It was like, why don't you have any money? Why don't you? You want to hear the piggy bank story? Because here it is. And then finally, I looked at Rita one day and I said, is there going to be a day I don't use the piggy bank story as not being abundant? And I went, holy crap, I'm keeping that little red bank, I can't even remember the color, right? The little red bank alive in my current world. And then I said, no, that was my story. And I forgave it and let it go and told that little boy, it's okay, you can save. I'm not going to take it from you. No one's going to take it from you anymore. But I had to tell me that. Everyone else said, oh, no, your dad is this, your dad. No, I had to tell me. Oh, I hope I don't have a vulnerability hangover tomorrow. But you guys know what that is? That's when you here, let me tell you something about myself. And then you wake up the next morning and you go, what did I say in front of 80 people? It was kind of like the lampshade on your head, Yeah, you got red banks. I got some lamps too. So to wrap this up, I will not be doing that rap. It's impossible for me. But what I do trust is this, that I know that I have been trained, in some of us, nobody in this room, but we've been trained sometimes that suffering is not mandatory, but it's a part of the experience. Or I was speaking with someone today, and I said, they were talking about, and how struggling helps us grow. It helps us grow. And I'm sure that little incident of mine helped me grow as well. But what if We could try something new. And what if I could break my own piggy bank of life and go, it doesn't need a bank. It's unlimited. I have a vault that is now open for perfect health, for everything, for love, for self-love. What if I didn't need to save it anymore? What if I don't need to save my stuff in case you're going to take it from me? What happens if I could love you when you don't love me? Wow. Now that's a bank account I absolutely want to live in. And so that's my message today. All of that was my message today. And you can smell money, you can do anything you want, but it's never about that anyway. It's about what's right in here. And so I'm looking at the biggest and the most lavish bank of energy I have ever seen in my life right now. There's not even a price tag on what I'm looking at. Nothing. You couldn't even put a price tag on it. So enjoy your wealth, enjoy your life, and I'll let you know tomorrow if I wake up with a vulnerability hangover. And so it is.
I love you. He's amazing. So this is our time of sacred giving, which I'm grateful to be able to do, aren't you?
Yes.
Because one of the things that changed my life was adhering to the law of giving and receiving. Because I give because I can. And even when I had a little, I gave because I could. And it changes everything. So thank you for everything that you give today to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, and know that it goes out into the world to heal and prosper the world. It does, through each and every one of us, through this center, and through the other organizations that we give to every month. So thank you in advance. And we've switched things around a little.
Something a little different.
Thanks to Walt Wise. So we're just going to go into the song right now.
And then you're going to bless it with our affirmation.
All that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all. Na 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 na, na 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 na. So I lift up my hands now, and I open up my heart. My gratitude goes out to everything here and far. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing so amazing. Grateful for it all, for it all. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all.
Hey. So turn to the affirmation prayer. I have given freely and joyously from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth. I know that my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, my life, and the world. And so it is. Yay. Great sound. In case you wonder what, yeah, go ahead. In case you wonder what Maureen is doing over there, I just took all that money out yesterday too, and I'm going to put it in the bank tomorrow. Yeah, we have close to $10,000 in our in our expansion fund. Isn't that great? And most of it came from that jar, and yeah, so I know, right? So now it gets to go into something greater for Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. So thank you again. And so we're ready to bring our children, if there are any. Yes, no?
I believe there is, actually.
I know they went on a scavenger hunt, so maybe they're not back yet. So we'll
Yeah,
start.
I see
oh, wait,
them,
I
but
see
you can
them.
actually
But we'll
call.
invite the practitioners that are going to serve to come up, if whoever that is, Reverend Diane, Dr. Peggy,
Roseanne, Rob
Roseanne
in the back.
is serving today. Roseanne, you're serving?
Yes.
And Rob will be back at his post back there. And please, and Doreen, you're available? Okay, so please take the gift of a spiritual mind treatment from these lovely people that are steeped in consciousness to know the truth for you and to release those old beliefs and replace them with new ones and to activate the law of cause and effect on your behalf. So take advantage of that. They'll tell you more about spiritual mind treatment. They'll tell you more about how you can do a session with a practitioner if you want to go deeper. And they'll have a little brochure up here for you to share with you about that. So please, utilize them. And I thank them in advance for serving today. I thank you all. All right, so here are our little children. We have 3 children. Yay, and Janice, our youth director.
Hi, guys. Hi, we had fun today in talking about our connectedness with everything, and we read this story, All I See Is Inside of Me. We did some still lifes of papaya and a scavenger hunt. Here with Orion and Kieran and Gracie.
So let's give them their blessing. Are you ready? You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent. And we love you. Yay. Thank you, Janice. And one of the things that's an immediate requirement for us is that we find a place for our children and get them out of the kitchen. So we have requested from the building, because we're not, our lease is not up until 2020, but we have requested from the building to look for a small space for us, bigger than that kitchen, that we can bring the kids to every day so we can really actually expand our youth programs. So keep that in your consciousness, because that's what we're knowing is happening. So just treat that in
It's
your
a cute name,
consciousness.
Kids in the Kitchen, but after a while, it's like, let's get him out of there while he's cutting up food. And
All right, so I believe we are ready for our closing song.
We are.
Thank you, Doug and Doreen.
And mahalo for all of you. Let's stand up and give some energy to this beautiful, wonderful song to decide.
This world that I live in reflects my desires. A world that works for everyone. A world where everyone cries. I am love. I live my truth. I walk in faith. I stand for good. I am ready. I am able. I decide. Oh, sorry, it's more.
I'm sorry, I got
It's a call
distracted.
from within, a place deep inside. I follow my heart and let my light shine. I am love. I live my truth. I walk in faith. I stand for good. I am ready. I am able. I decide. I decide.
So I am ready. I'm ready to be grateful. I am so grateful to each and every person here for all they have given today in consciousness and more, and just the expansion that took place today. I know that it's good and more good and more good, because I know the presence and power of that divine abundance is within each of us, and that we get to live that today as we move from here, moment by moment by moment, in all its wonderful, amazing energy. And I'm grateful to all the people that served today, that made this service possible. And I'm just going to start with Doug and Doreen for this music expansion that we've had, and I am so grateful for it. Yay. And Luis over there, who just wrote those chants, I guess, this morning. and for everything that he does and his dedication to drumming us and keeping the beat. And I thank Charles for all he does. And our Malama team, Angela, Emma, DJ, and Sue, is that correct? Yes, and Yana, whoever, they're all wonderful. All of them, wonderful divine beings. And Rob Jones for taking this word out into the world. For Jonathan, who making sure we're heard in the most perfect way. To Roseanne in the bookstore and all that she does. And Peggy and Emma and Malia, everyone that works in the bookstore. And Ron Stover, oh my God, Ron Stover, who is a pillar of this church because he keeps us fed. And we know how important food is to us. So thank you, Ron Stover, and your team and your beautiful wife, Reverend Suzanne. And I thank Roseanne for something. I don't know what it is, but I'm thanking her again. I just see her name there. I just love her. She's been with us since the beginning. And all of you here today, I say mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. And I just take this beautiful energy that we've experienced, and I breathe into it. And I know for each and every one of us that abundance of the universe is right where we are as we go on our way. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. I am so grateful as I release this word, as I let it go, as we affirm together, and so it is.
All right,
Hey, Johnny, would you bring up the drum and the monitor, please? The click track and the monitor, please.
All right, repeat after me. Here we go. Peace. Love. Joy. Abundance. Peace. Love. Joy. Abundance. It is mine. 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 Beautiful. Now let's sing it out. Here we go. All together. I am ready. I am able. I decide. I decide. I am ready. I am able. I decide. I decide. I decide. I decide. I decide. You decide.